Hello, friends. It's Phil, and today it's going to be a short podcast. I promise. And some of you may say, that's a shame, it's a short podcast planned. But look, it's going to be relatively short because I really think I need to get out on the streets, pounding the streets, doing some leaflets locally. Now, the reason behind the thinking is I've been doing some Facebook adverts for the last year and a bit with All Gardening, and they've been generating inquiries within a radius of 12-ish miles. The problem is 12-ish miles is a long way, particularly when you're trying to get density of customers. It's a long way between the customers, so it's not ideal. And I'm trying to really develop a tactic that allows me to get customers next to each other, or within the same street, or within the same streets to each other, the neighborhood. House, neighbor, street, neighborhood. That's kind of my thinking. So I have probably about 5,000 leaflets from last year that I will be shoving out. And I believe, based on my research on leaflet distribution, keep in mind, it's not the first time I've done leaflets. There's a story I can tell, actually. Back in, when would it have been? 2006, 7, 8, sometime. There was a point when I did 250,000 leaflets in northwest London. And let's just say that had a consequence, which I'll tell you about another day. But anyway, back to the leaflets today. So the 5,000 leaflets, I've worked out that a leaflet distribution company would be looking to do 1,000 leaflets in a working day, 7 to 8 hours, let's say. So I've set myself a task of doing 1,000 leaflets today to see what it feels like to do 1,000 leaflets, but also that will give me a chance to see whether the leaflets locally within a neighborhood have any effect. And let's just say we know that the response rate from leaflets is tiddly widdly tiny, like below 0.5%, if even that. It can be very, very little, tiny weeny. So really 1,000 leaflets might generate one inquiry if I'm lucky, but one inquiry is good. So 5,000 leaflets, 1,000 a day. I've already done this morning. I think I've probably done about 250. I reckon I'm doing a little bit more than 100 an hour. Yeah, I reckon I'm doing about 150 an hour. So we're going to try and do these leaflets and see what happens. And the 5,000, really, I might do another 1,000 tomorrow, and then I'll have to leave it until the following week, when I've got a couple of spare days at the moment, to do another 2,000, and then I'll have a third. So I'm going to set myself this goal of doing the 1,000-day delivery leaflet vibe and see what happens. But look, the other thing that I did this morning, which intrigued me, and it also pointed me in a direction. I took the yearbook, the All Gardening Yearbook. And if you don't know anything about the All Gardening Yearbook, look back on one of the previous episodes where I talk about the All Gardening Yearbook, which is now complete and has been printed. Well, the 70-page version has been printed in A4, and it looks fantastic. Oh, by the way, I've given it to a couple of customers to get some feedback, and actually one customer said the All Gardening Yearbook is like a bit of a autobiography of a gardener. But it's a very alternative autobiography, really. It's an autobiography about me, but the way I think and the way that is represented in All Gardening kind of thing. But anyway, where am I going with this? Right, the yearbook, I wanted to see whether it would be of any interest to two of the booksellers in town, Waterstones and the RHS Garden Centre in Harlow. And I took the book into both of them. And the limiting factor is that both of those companies do book buying from a central office, let's say. So in order to get the book to even be handled by someone in those two places, handled like, here, have a book, just have a book, have a read. It has to go via head office. And I thought to myself, that's not really what the yearbook's all about. Really, it's not really about going to head office somewhere in the UK and then coming back to Harrogate. It's more about starting from Harrogate and expanding. It's got to be in the right way, the yearbook. The yearbook's got to grow in the right way. It's got to have its foundations in the right place. So, look, the yearbook wasn't received in Waterstones and it wasn't received in RHS. They were both very kind and very polite, gave me some guidance on how to go about things. But actually, I kind of went, nah, this isn't the way to get the yearbook going. The way to get the yearbook going is similar to the leaflets. It's got to be a local journey where people kind of embrace it for its idiosyncrasies, its localness, let's say. So I'm doing the leaflets. I've tried to sort of punt out the yearbook. I've kind of come to realise that one, the leaflets are best done by me because I've got the time to do it, and two, the yearbook is probably best sold by me through the All Gardening website, which it is actually listed on the All Gardening website, but at the moment it's not for sale because I haven't actually done a print run yet. That might come. At the moment, the limitation of doing the print run is largely cash. I don't really have the cash to tie up in a load of yearbooks that might sit here doing nothing for a while before someone buys one. So the other thing that I'm doing, and I should have done this kind of years ago, I think I did do this years ago, but I'm kind of doing it now because I'm kind of treading down this localization kind of idea, is I've asked a number of customers, only a small group, for a testimonial. And actually asking for testimonials, I'm finding quite nerve-wracking. Only because I really care. I mean, I really care about the standard of work I do. And I always want it to be the absolute best. And the challenge with lawns is getting to the absolute best is hard. It's hard. And I try my best. And some of that is limited by budget, by the way, not by my ambitions. But asking for a testimonial, I'm kind of trying to ask just a handful of people to help me, give me a chance to tell the story of their lawn story. I've got a few, and they're beautiful lawns, and they're great clients, and hopefully they help to localize the business kind of as people come closer towards it. I know you might be listening in one of 104 countries in the world, by the way, but I'm just trying to pull all these bits together to localize the business, to localize it. And I guess in London, when I built All Gardening back in 2004 originally, and built all the original digital assets and whatever else for the London business, it was quite easy to localize because it kind of localized big and then localized small kind of thing. It just sort of happened, really. But I guess the limiting factor that I'm thinking about at the moment is that 12 miles is just too far a stretch because the density doesn't provide localization. In effect, it creates stretch. So I need to work harder to get more local, more local. That's my thinking. But anyway, as a little footnote, if you're listening to this podcast to the end, by the way, there's one favour I'd like to ask. or a question I'm pondering. And you can leave a comment on whichever channel you're listening to this on. How do I fund the yearbook? How do I fund it? Someone said to me, I need to get a publisher. Don't like the idea of that, but I don't know. Someone said, I'll just go and get them printed. Don't really have the capital to do that at the moment to get a really good price on the books. I'd have to do quite a lot. Don't know, but if you've got an idea around how I can get going with the yearbook, do I do pre-orders? I don't know. Do I do crowdfunding? I don't know. I don't know. I just, to some extent, some of my thinking at the moment is a little bit paused because I kind of can't quite see in the future. And I guess what I have to do is keep treading forward and looking at my business plan. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. I guess that's where I'm going. Not quite sure. So, look, if you've got any guidance, tips, or observations, or anything you'd like to share with me, keep it simple, Phil. Yes, I understand. And don't overthink it, Phil. Yes, I get that. I will actually go and do some more leaflets when it stops raining again. April showers in May. But look, if you've got any guidance or any tips you'd like to share on growing or gardening, then please, my friends, do share away. It'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, look, I'm all done now. I'm going to go to somewhere very local and do 500 leaflets or so. Anyway, look, I'll catch you very soon. Take care. Ta-ra. Bye. Bye. Bye.